outrageous shot making from Jamal Murray and Donovan Mitchell, and we get a Game 7 that the basketball world is clamoring for between the Denver Nuggets and the Utah Jazz. Welcome in, everybody. It's Playoff Central Live, presented by AT&T 5G. I'm Matt Weiner. That's Steve Smith right there. And Smitty, this is absurd. The offense we've seen from these two guys in particular is outrageous. They were 18 of 25 on threes tonight combined for 94 points. Each now has multiple 50-point games in this series. And I know that there was the old cliche for many years about defense winning championships. I don't know if in this new day and age that's even true anymore, but offense certainly makes for entertaining first-round series. This was crazy.
Man, how special it is to get a chance to watch both these young guys come out and just put on a show. And you talk about defense, right? Like you said, and I will say defense can't stop guys that's making these type of shots. And from this distance, the three-point shots, and we've seen some of the best knock it down, like Steph Curry and others. But what these two young guys are doing, I mean, because they'll hit you with mid-range shots, they're driving it, they're attacking, and they're hitting the knockdown long three ball, which has been fantastic.
Unbelievable. So now we get a Game 7 after two straight Denver wins. Murray's the bigger star of the two in this one as he goes for 50 points on 17 of 24 shooting. How do you handicap who has an edge in a Game 7 where there is no home court and both teams have a star capable of going for 50 now each twice in this series?
You know, I think, Matt, I guess we can say two 50-point guys are going wash each other out. I mean, so I think it comes down to others, and I think that's where you have to give the edge, I would say, to Denver and Jokic and his offense, because he's that one all-star. But then on the other side, I say Utah's defense. So it's going to come down to one of those really outplaying the other, because these two guys right here are putting on the show. So if Jokic can come out with one of those spectacular games to go along with Jamal Murray, or Utah defense with Gobert and others, if they can come out and get some stops when they need it. But I'm looking so forward to this Game 7. This is exciting.
Let's go through Murray's night in particular, Smitty. I mean, when's the last time you've seen this level of shot making for this sustained a period in the series?
I mean, you've seen some guys get hot, but when I'm talking about, like you said, the efficient, I mean, coming off the dribble, these are not catch and shoot threes. And look at in traffic, I mean, they're doing it all three levels. And what I love about Jamal Murray is he's able to get some separation and get his shots up. And you can see what Coach Malone did was change up the lineup. They played extremely fast, especially in that second unit. They got shots, and Jamal Murray, just the ultimate confidence. And here's these two stars checking each other. They talk about the step back and separation. He is mastered of being able to get his shot and get some room. This shot right here, Matt, was just ridiculous. That's Gobert all over him, and the presence, the mind not to step on an out-of-bounds line in that short corner and knock down that three. Boy, this was beautiful basketball to watch.
We're 6 games in. You know, normally you would say, well, there are no secrets at this point, right? Everybody's been scouted to death. They've played each other 6 times, not including the regular season. What can the two coaches try defensively that they haven't already to slow these guys down?
You know, Matt, I think I'm old school there. You know, we're around the same era. I would just say, let me trap these guys, and I would try to take my, chances on somebody else beat me. And I wouldn't do it all game, wouldn't show it all game, but every now and then, just to try to throw both these guys off rhythm, maybe even throw a trap in very early, get it out of their hands, and try to deny the basketball, because right now the rhythm they're in, even the show and also guys trying to go over the top, because of the way they're shooting the basketball, I mean, it's hard for one guy with these pick and rolls to be able to stop Jamal Murray and Donovan Mitchell. You
know, the offensive ratings generally are way up from where they normally are in this bubble playoff scenario. I don't know if the environment has something to do with it or not, but we're seeing levels of offense in the postseason that you just don't normally expect. When you typically expect it to slow down a little bit, you expect teams to get better defensively. These two teams both shot 18 of 36 from three-point range. And I know part of that is the evolution of the game, but if you just got a shootout, basically, if you can't figure out a way to slow that down, if that's just the way it's going to be with the way offenses go right now.
Matt, you said it just right on the nose. You look at a playoff series by Game 6, the percentages come down. You know each other's plays, you know the tendencies. But I think right now, as you look at it, these teams are so high. They are so locked in playing at such a high level, concentrating, and they're playing every other night and not getting any, I would say, home court advantage. These guys are making shots that's tough to make in a gym by yourself, let alone some of the shots they make with defense hanging all over them. This is so good. And what I'm really impressed at is Jeremy Grant is knocking down threes like a bona fide three-point shooter. Everybody, as you can tell, has been putting in some work on their game.
He was 4 of 7 in this game, and you see how much it means to the players as well. Jamal Murray all but broke down immediately after the game in his post-game interview. It's been an emotional week, and still you're getting this kind of production, this kind of skill on display. It's remarkable. Let's go back to the bubble. Listen in for post-game press conference coverage, starting with head coach Quinn Snyder.
All right, we'll get started with the first question from Kristen Kenny, Jazz TV. Coach, you had that strong first quarter, but then no answer for Denver's offense. Murray, what more can be done there to get the ball out of his hands?
Well, last game he got to the rim, and we wanted to take that away. Other than trapping him, we're trying to make him hit contested shots, and he's doing that. There were times in the game when we did try to trap him or hit him and get the ball out of his hands. But he's playing terrific basketball. We've got to do a better job on him. We have a Game 7, an opportunity to. He's been terrific. He's shooting like 55% from three off the dribble. I don't know what. I think he was 9 of 12 tonight. I don't know how many of those are off the dribble versus catch and shoots, but the way he's playing right now, he's gonna make some shots. There's other situations that we've got to take away, and our discipline defensively, has to be there. Because if we give up anything easy, particularly to him, there's too many other situations that he's very difficult to defend.
Okay, next question, Andy Larson, Salt Lake Tribune.
When it looked like the offensive, kind of the blender broke down to this game, and in particular there was a lot of ISO happening in the second half. What do you guys need to do to get that going again? Because and why was it as kind of my turn and your turn as it was tonight?
Well, I don't know that it was, specifically like the thought process being, his turn, my turn. I think the way that we came out, to your point, a lot of our early baskets, the ball moved. And we got some good looks. I think as the game progressed, our decisions weren't as quick, whether that meant, if you've got a short window to shoot the ball, you need to shoot it, pass it or drive it. And, their length, I think, their size makes some of those reads difficult, but we've got to be more determined, to attack quickly and make quick decisions in order to get our advantage. And I think the other thing is when we're not getting stops defensively, the floor's a lot smaller because of their size. And, that was something that we've been able to do, is to get out in transition and get looks that way. So when that dries up and the ball starts to stop, I think some of those situations you're talking about, you may have an advantage, but that doesn't mean your advantage necessarily leads to your shot or to your play at the rim or jumper. We've got to trust each other and drive the ball, sometimes drive it to pass just to get a little bit of an advantage, and then continue to build that advantage through a possession.
Next question, Ben Anderson, KSL Sports.
Quinn, as these series move on and now you're in a final game, does it get harder to make adjustments, or does it get easier to make more kind of specific adjustments because the teams know each other so well?
I don't know if it's harder or easier as much as it is, as you said, that as teams begin to know each other, certainly there's things that are significant that you see, that we've seen that on both teams in those situations with two players that are having spectacular series on both sides offensively. So there's obviously things that you can do and we need to do and will do, and at the same time, I think maybe the most important thing right now is for us to be able to kind of bounce back emotionally and refocus for Game 7 and execute in those situations, but a lot of others. There was some things that I think we were doing better or more consistently, I should say, a few games ago, and we haven't seen, our level at the place where it needs to be on the defensive end.
Sarah Todd, Deseret News.
Quinn, what do you see as the reason for Rudy not being as involved in the offense tonight?
Well, I don't know that, offense is, adapts to how people are playing you and who you're playing against. And in many instances, there's certain things they're trying to take away. And I think for us to be able to move the ball quickly, as I said, Rudy, in addition to a lot of our other guys in the court, are going to be on the back end of those possessions. And I thought Rudy did a good job early in the game. Guys were creating opportunities for our team, and he was involved in that as well. So, as much as anything, whether it's we can't obsess about any one guy's opportunities and situations. It's a collective effort, and when Rudy has nights where he gets a lot of shots and scores, it's usually when the ball is moving and we're breaking the defense down, and he's spaced in a way where he can make it difficult for them to help off him, and they have to make a decision. So we've got to do a better job on that, and that will help Rudy get an opportunity to be even more effective.
Okay, last question will be from Tony Jones, The Athletic.
Coach, did you guys miss an opportunity? I thought you guys played a really, really good first quarter. Did you guys miss an opportunity being up 6 as opposed to being up 12-15?
We had some free throws we missed early. I think those things do have an impact, but I don't think that, after that first part of the first quarter, we weren't on the level we needed to be, and there was a lot of game left. So, regardless of what that looks like as far as your lead, if it's a little larger lead, we still have to sustain the way we were playing. And that was the biggest issue, that we played better at the beginning of the game, and we played better in certain situations, and we have to sustain that throughout the game with different lineups. And